CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
We cannot and will not play politics with our kids.
Tonight on CTV News, a government lockout vote passes matching Alberta teachers' strike mandate. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Last night, discussions fell apart between the union representing teachers and Alberta's negotiators. Both sides say they're ready to get back to the negotiating table, although no meetings are scheduled. Although, at this point, teachers and the province say kids will start the school year in the classroom. Evan Kenny reports.
The government of Alberta's #1 priority is to make sure that students are in school and that students are learning, and that will remain our priority and our position.
That priority may be in jeopardy as mediated talks broke down between the Alberta Teachers Association and the Teachers Employer Bargaining Association, who is negotiating on behalf of the province.
We cannot and will not play politics with our kids.
We're not politicizing everything or anything. We are showing the reality of what is happening within our schools in Alberta.
The ATA walked away from the negotiating table last night after it says the discussion hit a standstill. The province says it has offered to hire 3,000 more teachers at a cost of $750 million. It also offered a 12% wage increase over 4 years. The province says no counteroffer was received.
Union leaders are gambling with their kids' future and their learning. We are giving union leaders exactly what they've asked for, and now they are ready to walk away.
The province says this offer would place teachers' wages on par with the rest of the country. The teachers already voted down the 12% raise earlier this summer.
We've tried to come with a fair offer. That's what's on the table. And depending where this goes, I don't see that offer changing because the data doesn't show that it should.
They make more than Alberta teachers. They have seen increases within the last decade that outpace Alberta teachers. And so we can sit down and have a conversation about any of the data points government wants to sit down and have a conversation about.
Schilling says over the last decade, teachers' wages in Alberta have gone up 5.75%. Teachers voted 95% in favor of strike action earlier this summer.
You can see the burnout and the frustration on the faces of my colleagues, and they are leaving the profession.
Both sides say students will be in the classroom next week.
If no deal is reached, teachers have until October 7th to hit the picket lines and must give 72-hour strike notice. Documents provided to CTV News show the group representing the province at the bargaining table has voted in favor of a lockout. The vote gives the employer the right to lock out employees. A finance minister spokesperson says it would only be used as a reactionary response. The Premier says the Edmonton Public School Board is trying to make her government look bad after a list of books set to be banned in school libraries was leaked. A former teacher says the province shouldn't be deciding alone which books are available to children. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
Edmonton Public is clearly doing a little vicious compliance over what the direction is.
Premier Danielle Smith reacting to the national controversy surrounding her government's directive to remove books containing inappropriate and explicit sexual content in schools. A leaked list from Edmonton Public Schools features a number of classic and contemporary titles. The division confirms to CTV News the list is accurate and is a working document. Smith telling media today the board is trying to make her government look bad.
They've obviously put books on there that there was never any intention of having them target those books. We are trying to take sexually explicit content out of elementary schools that is inappropriate for me to show on the television news at night.
American author Jodi Picoult tells CTV News in part, it's disheartening to see the American epidemic of book banning spreading to Canada. The Handmaid's Tale author Margaret Atwood made light of the situation, posting online, "Don't read it. Your hair will catch on fire."
It's not about what you think, but how you think and that you do think.
Retired teacher Wouter Brusma says governments alone shouldn't decide what books are appropriate for what ages.
The ideal model from my perspective is that it involves parents, teachers, and a rigorous review. Not simply looking and saying, oh, gee, there's some naked buttocks on that page. We better get rid of this book.
Smith says she believes at least one of the books on the division's list, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, should be required reading for older students.
Maybe when you get to be in junior high or high school, the level of understanding about the concepts in there are absolutely appropriate.
Smith says the education minister has pledged to work with any school board to identify which books are appropriate for which schooling level. The education minister says the initial September implementation date has been pushed back to October to allow for consultations. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Today, the province launched the Alberta Wallet. It provides access to your provincially issued documents on your phone. The first document available for users is the mobile health card, replacing the current paper version. It's available to those 14 and older, although adults can add their partners or dependents to their own mobile wallet. The province says that your wallet's privacy will be secured through strong encryptions, adding that paper copies will still be available.
Our world is digital, and people have embraced this in droves. We developed the Alberta Wallet because Albertans expect their government to keep up with them. So we are adapting to an always-on, high-speed digital future, and we're showing the rest of Canada how it's done.
The rollout has received the stamp of approval from the Alberta Medical Association's president, who called it a logical move. The wallet isn't taking the place of a durable combined driver's license and health card. Those are expected to roll out next year. The group calling itself Forever Canadian says it's putting a system in place to start collecting petitions from thousands of volunteers. The group is petitioning for Alberta to declare its official policy is to remain in Canada. It has 60 days left to collect nearly 300,000 signatures to make that happen. The group says it's organizing a way to get the petitions collected every 2 weeks so they can figure out how many signatures are still needed. Organizer Thomas Lukasik says people of all political stripes are getting behind the movement.
We have federal conservatives, we have federal liberals, we have NDPers, everybody sitting at the same table strategizing and building this campaign, which I have to tell you, as a former politician, it's unprecedented. You never see this happen. So yes, it has become a movement. People are extremely passionate about being part of this movement, and we're building on it. But our goal still remains collecting 300,000 signatures, and that's it.
Lukasik says the group has seen about 4,000 volunteers collecting signatures and 3,000 helping in other areas. A Zeller store revival is now delayed. We first told you yesterday about the shop at Londonderry Mall that was scheduled to open earlier today. Mall ownership says it will now open on Monday. Zeller's was owned by the Hudson's Bay Company. When HBC shut down earlier this year, it sold its intellectual property rights to Canadian Tire. The Zeller's brand was not part of the sale. The version of Zeller's is supposed to sell clothes and home goods. There's still some secrecy surrounding the company behind the Canadian commerce reboot. The drug crisis was the focus of an event downtown today. In Churchill Square, a booth was set up giving out naloxone kits and information. Naloxone is a fast-acting medicine that reverses the effects of opioids. The inner city group that put this event on says 1 to 3 people in Edmonton die every day from an overdose.
It's actually the leading cause of death for folks between the ages of 15 and 55. So we're trying to spread as much education and awareness regarding overdose prevention as possible.
The event comes ahead of International Overdose Day this Sunday. 2 friends who drowned in a Calgary lake earlier this week are being described as caring souls and leaders within their church community. The 20-year-old men were swimming when they went underwater and never resurfaced. CTV's Tyson Fedor has the reaction.
What was supposed to be a day on the water beating the heat ended in tragedy. 2 young men drowned at Mahogany Lake on Wednesday. Now family and friends are flooding social media with tributes.
It's an unimaginable loss, and it's very painful time for our church family and most importantly for the families that have lost these incredible young men.
20-year-old Kalen Escalante and Yagazi Ike Peters have been identified as the two people who died. Both men were part of First Assembly Church. Their bodies were recovered from the lake by a dive team. The church says it cannot express the heartache of their loss to the community.
The grief that the families are dealing with right now, we're praying for them. We just love these young men so much, and we love their families. We're heartbroken.
A crowdfunding campaign described Escalante as someone who was passionate about music, worship, leading and caring for youth through camps. And these are just the latest deaths in a series this month. The Life Saving Society of Alberta says this year there have been a total of 20 drowning incidents in Alberta, nearly half this month alone.
You are going through an incident like that, your body's first priority is to get air. So a lot of times drowning is actually really silent and it can happen in seconds. So that's why the Life Saving Society really prioritizes these preventative measures, because it's a lot easier to be preventative about drowning than to resolve it during or after.
And with a wet summer, the recent heat wave has seen more people head to the water, but it comes with a warning ahead of the long weekend.
Wearing a life jacket is super important. Like I said, it works just like a seatbelt or even a bicycle helmet. You have to wear one, especially if you're on a boat, even if you're a really strong swimmer.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
Francis the Pig is now back on display in Red Deer after 2 years away for upgrades. The statue at the Central Spray and Play Park depicts a famous pig that escaped a slaughterhouse back in 1990. A couple of years ago, the sculptor noticed someone had tried to cut through the mounts on the statue. Now, Francis has a more secure platform as well as some new finishing details. Red Deer celebrated Francis' return with an unveiling earlier today. A Disney concert took over Churchill Square tonight as the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra played a free show.
We're able to share music that we love with a wide variety of the community.
The festivities kicked off at 7, capturing the magic of Disney through a full orchestra, vocalists, and animated film. Now, don't worry if you missed it. There's another performance slated for tomorrow night, also at 7 p.m. Students at MacEwan University moved into their new homes today. Around 600 students were on campus to get settled into residence. Resident assistants were also around to educate students on programs that the school offers. Back to school shopping can be expensive, but a local secondhand store says you can find some gems on their shelves.
We have everything from, your old school calculators, paper that's still sealed, and absolutely everything. Again, unused from previous years.
At this West End Goodwill, there are all kinds of school supplies. Well, staff know you won't be able to check off your entire checklist here. This is a great way to pick up some items to save a few dollars. Dozens of teams from across Canada and the U.S. are in town for the River Cree Indian Relay Cup. Indian Relay consists of competitors racing 3 times around a horse track. The riders are bareback on the horses and must jump off one horse and onto another at the end of each lap. The heat draws went tonight, with the races taking place tomorrow and Sunday at the Enoch Park racetrack. Organizers describe the event like the Kentucky Derby meets NASCAR racing.
It's action-packed. There's your head's got to be on a swivel. The fans love it. There's a reason why it's the last event at the Calgary Stampede, to keep the fans there.
This is the 5th annual race. Just ahead, de minimis is done. A long-standing debt exemption has come to pass. Plus, Cirque de Calgary. We introduce you to an Albertan making her mark with Cirque du Soleil.
That training was incredible, from singing, dancing, acting.
Welcome back. A near-century-long duty exemption used by small businesses in Canada and around the world to ship low-cost items to the U.S. ended today. The Trump administration has officially dropped what was known as the de minimis exemption, leaving businesses to deal with the consequences. CTV's Jeremy Sharon reports.
In small businesses across the country, there is an unfortunate new reality.
I know that I'm going to see a decline in sales to the States.
Cal Green's Ottawa-based streetwear brand Raised by Wolves is no exception.
So we've produced the apparel, they've done the shoes, and then
at least a quarter of his business comes through direct sale to American consumers or wholesalers. His product no longer exempt from duties when shipped south of the border, forcing him to make a difficult decision.
The duties, the tariffs, the brokerage fees, and the shipping is going to be included in the price for U.S. customers to be transparent. That's really all I can do at this point. As a small business, I can't afford to eat those costs.
Some of his products could still be exempt if he can prove they're CUSMA compliant, but like for thousands of other businesses, that will require more time and effort, which experts say won't always make sense.
If they want to go into the process of making sure that their goods are CUSMA compliant, that may not be worth the cost for many businesses.
It's a huge nightmare. Has been a really, really steep learning curve.
Last year, almost 1.4 billion packages entered America duty-free. Now, the new fees will vary based on a variety of factors, including the country of origin. But some businesses say they'll avoid it altogether.
To avoid confusion and conflicts with customers, I just suspended U.S. shipping for now.
Others hopeful to keep at least some of their longtime American customers.
I don't think there's as much anyone can do about it at this point, so I just want to keep moving forward and do the best I can.
At least 25 countries have opted to suspend U.S. shipping, citing a lack of clarity around enforcement. Canada Post says it'll work with a third party to collect and send the duties directly to U.S. Customs. Jeremy Sharon, CTV News, Ottawa.
Cirque du Soleil has taken over Stampede Park in Calgary. The big top is up and rehearsals are underway for Echo. 2,600 people will pack the tent every night for the show's run, including friends and family of one Alberta artist. CTV's Kevin Fleming has her story.
The performers are making the most of their rehearsal time before the premiere of Echo opens to Calgary audiences. Calgarian is among the cast, singing and playing the cello. Lizzie Munson joined Cirque du Soleil in 2016 at the Ka show in Las Vegas. Now she's getting to perform across the parking lot from where it all started for her, at the Stampede Grandstand show.
I would say Young Canadians did everything for me, really. That was the pivotal thing in my career that made me who I am. That training was incredible, from singing, dancing, acting.
Echo has a big footprint at Stampede Park, with the big top being the highlight for visitors.
The logistics behind a show like this is very impressive. We're traveling here with 72 truckloads of equipment. It takes us about 7 days to set up and then about 4 days to tear down and go to the next city.
Kevin Albert has been with Echo since its inception and says he's always impressed at how the team comes together for each and every show.
We have 53 artists that you will see on stage at any point during the show, but we're 122 that are traveling with the show. So the rest of them are technical people, site people, maintaining this equipment here, the tents and all that stuff.
8 seamstresses are responsible for all the costumes and are able to make any alterations or fixes right on site. Lee McDermott is a former Olympic and Commonwealth Games gymnast and now the head coach for the performers, who never stop perfecting their routines.
Our job is to make it look that easy, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Again, working with the physical therapy team, making sure that we're always connected.
This is one of the most technically advanced shows for Cirque du Soleil, with its massive moving cube on stage. And Lizzie Munson will have a lot of family and friends in the audience coming to see her. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
After the break, calling an audible. The Edmonton Elks bring back a fan favorite just ahead of their Labor Day tilt in Calgary.
It's ABC. It's anybody but Calgary. We want to see Calgary lose.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Another day of 30-degree weather in Edmonton as hot weather continues to blanket the province. Now, as we look towards the weekend, the good news is we are getting plenty of sunshine really throughout Saturday. But as we look towards Saturday afternoon into the early evening, parts of Jasper could see some showers develop, even the risk of some thunderstorm. And then when we get into the overnight hours, Fort McMurray areas around here, we could see some scattered showers really moving through, but it's not expected to last very long. Clear conditions for Sunday, and that will carry over into the Monday. As we take a closer look at the morning lows for our Saturday, 13 in Fort McMurray, as well as Cold Lake, Slave Lake, as well as Grand Prairie. Take a look at Peace River, 11 degrees, very similar to Red Deer and Jasper. Single digits for Banff, 8 degrees. So we're starting to feel the effects of the cooler temperatures, but it's still going to shoot up to about 20 degrees hotter as we get to our daytime highs for Saturday. 33 in Fort McMurray, 29 in Lake Labiche, Slave Lake, 28 degrees as well. Peace River as well as Grand Prairie, temperatures sitting in the low 30s. As we take a look to our friends in southern Alberta, well, Red Deer also sitting around 30 degrees. Cloud cover in Lloydminster, so you may get a little reprieve and relief from the heat, but it's still getting to a daytime high of 32 degrees. Rain is expected for Jasper at 26 degrees, the daytime high, and a risk of thunderstorm. But really, for most of Alberta, it's going to be mainly sunny skies. A look at our 5-day forecast. Take a look at this Saturday. We may not hit the record that was made in 1940. Daytime high 32 degrees. We're forecasting temperature to hit about 31 degrees. Sunday, we could match the record of 1940 of 30 degrees. Sunshine will continue. And then Monday, as we get into our Labor Day, 28 degrees. Hopefully, the heat warning will have lifted. And then as we get back to school for most students, 26 degrees, the daytime high for the Tuesday. The good news is the sunshine sticking around for the start of September and the summer-like conditions.
It's been a tight race for the only Edmonton area team left in Amazing Race Canada.
Ta-da!
Yes, let's look at that helmet.
Can we get a check?
It's giving, but not what I'm buying.
Blair and Skylene, better known as Superfan Magoo and Nippy, finished last in Tuesday's episode, but it happened to be an elimination-free week. The team were on CTV Morning Live today, where they said it was a huge relief.
Oh, it was like the whole world was lifted off my shoulders. It was a very emotional feeling.
The team says it's been surreal to see themselves on the show. Magoo says there's a watch party Tuesday night at the Central Social Hall downtown where people can cheer them on. Now, the golden age of sold-out CFL games at Commonwealth Stadium may be a thing of the past, but the organization is aiming to reestablish that fanfare by bringing back a Labor Day favorite.
We've had family tickets since about the mid-'80s, so we've been here coming through the good and the bad.
I've had season tickets since they've turned to the Elks.
I fell in love instantly with the atmosphere down here at Commonwealth Stadium, so it was a no-brainer. I had to get season tickets.
The Commonwealth Stadium crowds may be smaller than they used to be, but they're still filled with a loud and determined group of devoted fans.
Our fans have been good. The 10,000, 15,000 that we have that are coming now, they're as loyal a fan as you could possibly get.
The next pursuit, getting more Edmontonians engaged with the franchise.
It's up to us to show what we can do to be better on the field and in the community, and we're sure working hard at it.
One such endeavor is the return of the Labor Day fan bus, a shuttle of green and gold clad supporters bound for McMahon Stadium on Monday afternoon.
It's exciting. It's going to be whatever we can do to get the boys to win.
This is my first time, so it will be fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
They haven't had a fan bus since the W was under a different name, so it's very exciting. I'm very excited for this. It's been something that I've wanted to do for a very long time.
An excitement that extends from the stands to the field.
I love it. I'm going to look up in the stands and see if I can see them. I think it's awesome. I heard there was a couple buses coming from here.
The more people we can stack on those buses, and we might have to open up a couple more buses, because the more fans we get over there, I think it'll help calm our guys, help fire our guys up at times, and go out there and just try and put on a show.
The anticipation between the team and fans goes beyond Labor Day, as both sides look for a similar result to last season.
Eugene Lewis winning that battle all day.
A fan base looking for a Labor Day sweep, and an organization looking for its biggest crowd of the year in next week's Labor Day rematch.
I remember last year on the other side, the crowd here on the rematch was the biggest of the year as well, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
It's ABC. It's anybody but Calgary. We want to see Calgary lose, and then, of course, an Elks win on top of that. That's the cherry on the cake right there.
All right, that's all from us tonight. Thank you so much for wrapping up your week with us here on CTV Edmonton. Have a great Labor Day long weekend. We'll see you back here Tuesday night at 11:30. Take care and goodbye for now.